Immediately knew something was wrong. Press it. Why did they suspect something was wrong? Based on what she saw, I think she was jumping to conclusions.
First, Sayori isn't one to think things through before she does them. Second, both Sayori and MC know who Natsuki's father is. They know about their bad relationship. They probably put two and two together and realized that something must have happened.
But why bother restraining him at all? Why not contact the authorities?
And there was always a chance that he'd get away and claim innocence. He'd be under suspicion in the past, or he'd been under suspicion in the past, but due to lack of evidence, was always let go.
Oh no.
This was their chance to finally make him answer for his crimes. To get Natsuki out of her terrible situation.
I'll have to ask Mr. Mozokuya about this if I get a chance. He'd better have a good explanation for this. Yeah, blah blah. Press it. What was his reaction upon being restrained?
Both Sayori and MC testified that he seemed shocked about being restrained.
I guess that's an understandable reaction. Was it particularly hard for him to be restrained?
Physically, not much. However, he made it clear verbally that he didn't like it.
What do you mean?
I'd repeat what he said, but I don't think it would be appropriate in a high school environment.
More dark text that I can barely read. Ugh. Actually, I can't even tell if there is text there. Sorry, dear viewer, if it says something, I can't read it. Wait, what was that last...
Anyway, Sayori took about 3 minutes to get the staff member and get back outside.
Staff took in Natsuki's dad for questioning. Press it. Well, what was the questioning like for him?
For the most part, he was cooperative with answering questions. However, when bringing up his past relationship with his daughter, Mr. Mozokuya seemed to get defensive.
Yet another issue to bring up with him. Out of curiosity, who came up with the idea to hold this trial in the first place?
Well, I just so happens to be nearby at the time. And the principal was hoping to find a way to avoid negative publicity. So I offered to help hold this hearing. I even came up with the idea to have you as his attorney.
Well, I'm flattered, I think. Where did she hear about me anyway? Questionable wording choice aside, what happened to Sayori and MC after my client was questioned?
They were asked to give their statements on what happened. Afterwards, they simply went to class, which is where they're at as we speak.
I still find it weird they're not here giving testimonies. It's like the purpose of this trial is to only have 3 people in here or something. Nah, I'm probably overthinking it. The developer may be jabbing themselves lazily.
This cross-examination has been going on for quite some time. Do you have any thoughts on the testimony itself, Mr. Wright?
Let's see. There is one thing that's bothering me. But what is it? The witness is biased. The witness never saw the crime. The witness is clumsy. Well, they never saw the crime. They only saw the aftermath. Throughout this testimony, we've heard about the actions taken after the crime. But there's one key moment that wasn't accounted for. Namely, the assault itself. This testimony has given us valuable insight about what happened after the crime. But that's just it. For all we know, Mr. Mozokuya simply stumbled onto the scene and found his daughter unconscious. Sayori and MC arrived, assumed the worst, and restrained him. My client was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Mr. Wright, but that isn't the case here.
Why's that?
Did you forget about the fact that there was an argument between the victim and defendant beforehand? Mr. Mozokuya couldn't have stumbled onto the scene if he was already there to talk with Natsuki.
My point about Sayori and MC only seeing the aftermath still stands. This alone doesn't prove that my client assaulted Natsuki.
While you might have a point about Sayori's testimony, I should remind you that we have 2 others. Yuri's testimony and MC's testimony. And while MC's testimony more or less matches Sayori's testimony, Yuri's testimony covers what happened in the lead-up to the assault.
Then the defense requests that we hear Yuri's testimony.
That's fine. I was going to read that one next anyway. I'll begin now.
Yuri's account.
I arrived at school at approximately 8:15. As usual, I opted to spend my morning time outside in the courtyard reading. 5 minutes later, Monica arrived and sat next to me, where we started talking. Another 5 minutes later, Natsuki arrived and Monica left. 5 more minutes passed before we both heard an angry yell from the entrance. Natsuki's father was storming towards us, anger in his eyes. Fearful of his wrath, I retreated, hearing the sounds of arguing and soon glass shattering. As you can see, this puts the suspect at the scene of the crime at the time of the crime.
It certainly does, and his behavior doesn't help things at all. She's a little vague about what exactly she saw, so I suppose I should press further.
Go ahead with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yuri's account. Alright, so let's see. Press it. 8:15, that's pretty early.
Yuri prefers spending time alone before her school starts. She's basically the opposite of Sayori when it comes to this kind of stuff. Shy, reserved, and quiet, but also intelligent and responsible.
Diverse cast of characters in this group of witnesses. She's reading in the courtyard, yeah. Is this a normal thing for Yuri to do? Spend time outside?
Either in the courtyard or in an empty classroom. She likes the peace and quiet. Especially when there are very few students around in the courtyard that early.
Does she always spend her time reading?
Absolutely. She enjoys reading dark fantasy, horror, those kind of books. And nothing about fantasy. Oh no, it's right there. I'm stupid. Never mind. But it says dark fantasy.
She certainly sounds sophisticated. Trucy could probably learn a thing or two from her about reading. I guess that's a Phoenix Wright character? I don't play that much Phoenix Wright. And we should say the thing I've never actually played it. What did you spend your time talking about?
Mostly literature club business. Plans for the festival, how to get new members, things like that.
Sounds like you've discussed this a lot.
More than I'd like to. Some of the members are hesitant about performing in front of others.
Performing? I didn't think literature involved performing anything.
On the contrary, Mr. Wright, our plan is to recite our own poetry in front of the others. It's made for quite the interesting group activity these past few days.
Definitely sounds like something that would appeal to some. Alright, I can't let something like that poetry distract me from the case. Focus! Another 5 minutes later, Natsuki arrived and Monica left. Why did you leave all of a sudden?
I had to get some administrative things sorted out with the student council that morning. That's also why I was at school so early.
Administrative things? Such as?
Festival preparations, resources for the club can use. The budget things not relevant to the case.
I suppose that's true. If I wanted to hear about this kind of stuff, I'd go to a PTA meeting. 5 more minutes passed before Alright, we're getting into the meat of the testimony now. Did Yuri seem to recognize the yellow from anywhere?
She didn't say, but I imagine she wouldn't, seeing as she's never met the suspect.
It's true, I've never met the girl until today.
In addition, according to Yuri, Natsuki's expression turned fearful as soon as she heard the yell.
Why can't anything look good for my client in this trial? Anger in his eyes. How did Yuri know that it was Natsuki's father storming towards them?
Natsuki showed the club a picture of him a while ago. That's also where I recognized him from when I first saw him.
Why did she show you the picture of me?
She was warning us that we should stay away from you should we ever run into you.
Better change the subject now. So, was there anything noteworthy about my client that Yuri noticed?
Well, according to Yuri, he had a furious look in his face and he was clutching a manga book. That's about it.
Right. can't forget about the oh-so-important manga that his daughter was reading. Wait a second. Did Yuri mention my client carrying anything else on him at the time?
Nope, just the manga.
I'd like to request that be added to the testimony.
I don't see why not. I'll go ahead and do that.
His father only carried the manga on him. Well, let's press that. New statement. It must have taken quite the observation skill to notice the manga book.
Well, Yuri is well regarded as having a keen eye for detail. There's a reason some people say she's the smartest in the globe.
I wonder about her observation skills. Fearful of this rat. We retreated, and let's press that too. She just ran? Shouldn't she stay behind and help her friend?
Yuri is quite timid around others, and the suspect has a reputation that she's aware of. Besides, no offense to Yuri, but I don't know what she could do even if she tried helping.
I guess it's just too much for some people. Who knows what I would have done in a similar situation? This testimony has more material to cover in regards to the actual assault. I'll probably have to take this testimony head-on then. Pressing further should get me some more details and hopefully a chance to strike. Still, I can't help but feel that there's something more to this case. Something much more. So there are a few things we can already press. Well, we've pressed everything. We need to present some evidence. So let's see. First, I wanted to double check the times here. She got here at 8:15. She's been out in the courtyard, yeah. 5 minutes later, 8:20 is when Monica arrives. 8:25 is when Monica leaves. And that's when Natsuki arrives. And let's see, this said she did arrive at 8:25, right? No, the time of the assault was 30 to 35, so Natsuki's there at 8:25, yeah? Yeah. 5 more minutes. It's 8:30, and that's when Datsuki arrives. She's only carrying the manga, but we have reports that he was carrying a bottle. And she ran away, heard the shattering glass. Okay, so let's see. I think we need to present the bottle here as the thing that we can object to here. Was Yuri adamant about what she saw him carrying?
She was.
I see you understand where I'm getting at. Yuri claims that my client was only carrying the manga on him when he arrived at the scene. If that's what she saw, then why didn't she see the glass bottle used as a weapon? The victim was assaulted with a glass bottle, correct? Then it stands that the witnesses should have seen something like that nearby.
Perhaps he simply kept it hidden somewhere on his person.
Where would he have kept it hidden? My client isn't wearing a coat or anything of the sort. And a glass bottle that size wouldn't fit in his pockets.
Perhaps he found it on the scene.
Why would anyone bring a glass bottle to a school and discard it on the ground? Especially if its contents are what I think they are.
Well, there was that time when Yuri brought wine to the literature club.
Ignoring that.
What exactly are you implying with this, Mr. Wright?
Simple. My client argues with Natsuki for a while. He brings the manga, but nothing else. Sometime in between that, a third party arrives and knocks out Natsuki with the bottle. Then, my client stumbles onto the scene, sees his daughter out cold, and picks up the bottle in shock. Sayori and MC arrive a few minutes later and restrain him, assuming him to be the assailant.
Interesting theory, but you have yet to tell us the biggest part. Namely, what happens during the assault itself. You claim a third party assaulted the victim at some point before MC and Sayori showed up. And yet, for this to work, they would have to get past the sights of both the victim and suspect. How do you plan to explain that?
It's simple. This can tell us about what happens during the assault. Let's see. We haven't looked at any of the new profiles yet. Hey, there's Sayori and Yuri. Sayori, one of the witnesses to the crime, arrived at school with MC and restrained Mr. Musakuya. Here's Yuri. One of the witnesses to the crime saw the defendant approach Natsuki. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap my brain around this because I'm in Let's Play mode. Well, if he saw somebody else, wouldn't he, like, be able to tell them? I mean, I guess. He would be the only one left, because Monica had reported he already left, Yuri had already left, she was the one who got hurt, and MC and Sayori had not arrived yet. He's the only one who was on the scene. Right?
Take that!
Tell me, have you taken the statement of my client yet?
He has opted to remain silent about the incident.
Mr. Mosakuyo, what would you gain from me testifying? I'd make myself look worse than I already do. This is the thing that could make or break your case right now. I need you to testify about your account this morning. Are you sure about this? If my theory is correct, then there has to be a reason as to why you didn't see the real culprit. With your testimony, I can come up with a reason. Just have some faith in me. Fine, I'll testify.
As if we believe what you say.
Please let him speak before you decide whether you believe in him or not, Monica. Mr. Mosakuyo, please give your account of the incident. All right, I trust you. My account. Natsuki left for school around 8:10. I noticed her manga book, got upset and drove over to school to confront her about it. She was talking with one of her friends, but she ran away as soon as she saw me coming their way. Natsuki and I talked for a few minutes before I gave her the manga and went back to my car. When I reached my car, I heard glass breaking and ran back to see what happened. Natsuki was on the ground, unconscious. Stunned, I guess I picked up the bottle. Those two other kids restrained me, and you know the rest. That should suffice, Mr. Mosakuyo. As you can see, there's a clear explanation for why my client didn't see the third person. He was at his car when the assault happened.
Objection!
You don't know that he's telling the truth.
And can you prove that he's lying? What's she up to?
Don't think you've won yet, Mr. Wright. There's still one question you need to answer for your theory to be proven correct. If Mr. Mosakuyo didn't assault Natsuki, who did? Remember, apart from the victim and suspect, the courtyard was empty until Sayori and MC arrived. The only possible suspect we have is Mr. Mosakuyo.
Objection!
The point about Yuri missing the bottle still stands. Who's to say she didn't miss another person there?
Objection!
Missing a bottle someone was holding isn't the same as missing another person at the scene. Besides, even if we were to give your argument some thought, it doesn't change anything in the long run. In fact, I have an explanation for you about why Yuri didn't see the bottle.
Huh?
Mr. Mosakuyo went back to the car, I'll give you that. But what if he wasn't going to the car to leave? What if he was going to retrieve a weapon? I see you've picked up on what I'm saying. Mr. Mosakuyo went back to his car to retrieve the glass bottle.
Ah!
What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Can't come up with a rebuttal.
She's wrong, Mr. Wright. I never brought any bottles with me.
And how exactly do you intend to prove that?
You
can think about what you've done in the police station. Now then, I think we can bring this hearing to a close.
Hold it! Not yet. This hearing isn't over yet.
What?
Remember that Mr. Mosakuyo just gave official testimony. I have yet to cross-examine it.
Do you really think a cross-examination will change anything?
I'll be the judge of that.
I suppose I can't stop you. Even if we're adding more frames into a case that's supposed to be short and sweet.
Seriously? What is she?
You may proceed, Mr. Wright.